All right. Good day, everyone, and welcome to our monthly Customer Success Office Hours webinar. We're glad you're here and we're excited to kick off today's session. My name is Antonio, and I've had the pleasure of leading the customer success and support team here at Time Doctor. I've been Time Doctor for almost 3 years now, hard to believe. And I'm based out of beautiful Cleveland, Ohio, right here in the USA. I'm a well known fanatic of Cleveland sports teams, and I enjoy watching them and seeing them as much as I can. I also have a deep passion for everything remote work offers, so I truly enjoy helping companies like yours grow and scale their remote teams. Now, for today's session, I'm joined by one of our rockstar client success managers, and that's my fellow hip hop aficionado, Calvin Gopal. Together, our goal is to deliver an exceptional interactive experience we appreciate all of you making the time to join us. This will be our first session in a monthly series brought to you by the customer success team here at Time Doctor. Now, throughout the session, we'll be diving into some exciting updates, discussing our product roadmap, and delving into our monthly training topic, which is Team Insights. Now, as a reminder, with this new format, you have the power and control to decide what we choose to present and show you for every session coming up here on out. All you do is fill out in the poll what you want us to show and spend time on. And for this one, the winner was Team Insights, followed closely by Advanced Reporting, which Calvin will get into here in a few moments. So with that being said, let's jump right in. First things first, I'm going to kick it over to my partner, Calvin, so he can provide a quick intro and tell you what's in store for today's session.
Fantastic. Awesome. Thanks, Antonio. Once again, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to everybody. This is me. I'm coming all the way from sunny South Africa, which I normally say, but today the weather switched it up on me and it's become cold and rainy, which is normal for this time of year as we proceed into winter. I've been with Time Doctor for just over 2 years now. And I love and I'm passionate about everything to do with the arts, specifically music and dance, where I spend a lot of my time promoting and checking out some of our local artists. I'm also a remote work advocate, and I believe that remote work is the future of work, which is why I enjoy spending time with our clients, speaking about the kind of insights that we will be touching on today. But as always, with webinars, we have to have an agenda. So here's our agenda today, and hopefully we're going to get through all of this. In fact, not hopefully, we will get through all of this. And there's a couple of things that we want to cover today. So one is our product roadmap update, which we'll be sharing on. And then we also have a big email notification update. Monthly training topic, as we've mentioned already, today will be Team Insights, which narrowly beat Advanced Reporting, which we'll touch on at another stage. And then towards the end, we'll wrap it up with a summary as well as spending time answering your questions. For that, what we need to let you know of before we get to that, obviously, is we have our general housekeeping reminders, as with all webinars. Firstly, you would have noticed by now that your mics are muted. This is by default. This is on purpose. This is obviously to keep everything structured, so we don't have people jumping on and there's a lot of background noise. Secondly, you can ask your questions via the Q&A section, the Q&A function, which is in app. I believe it's just be down below the comment section. So please do throw your questions out to us so that we can get to them at the end. We will be sharing this recording. We're recording this right now, so we'll be sharing it with you afterwards so you can review some of the information if it doesn't quite get through to you today. And also note, very, very importantly, because we will be sharing some information that is not knowledge to everybody, we ask that you would keep this confidential. Everything that we share today is confidential, so we ask that you keep it to your organization only. And then lastly, we have a safe harbor statement, which in a nutshell just means that we, myself and Antonio, will be sharing some updates, some which have been released recently, some that are yet to be released and are still being worked on in our roadmap. So we just want to let you know that some of these things may be released soon, may not, may take a bit longer as things change. So we just thought we'll throw that disclaimer out to you so that you're aware of it before the jump off. But we always try and make sure that we cover everything and we get our features out as quickly as possible, as we always do. But that's pretty much it from me. I'll hand it back through to Antonio, who will take us through the next section.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Calvin. So, we've been hard at work bringing some fantastic updates at Time Doctor, and we've listened to your feedback and excited to share what's been released and what's coming up in the next 30 days. So, first, let's start with what's been released over the past few weeks to make sure you didn't miss anything. Leave tracking. So, over the past few years, one of the biggest requests that I've heard consistently from many customers is the desire to have better track absences, leave absences, and Time Doctor specifically through our work schedules and payroll reporting. Well, just recently, we introduced leave tracking as part of our work schedules and attendance reports. So if you're using work schedules and have not tried this out, please let your team know that this is available and give us some feedback on what you think. I think it's pretty awesome, but let's hear from what your team and what they think once they've had a chance to use it. The second one here is activity level metric. So in case you missed this one of my favorite reports has just gotten an upgrade. And what I mean by that is the new activity level metric that's been added to the activity summary report. So the next time you're in that report, you'll notice a new column that shows the activity level for your team members. The activity level is a great indicator of how your employees stack up against the rest of your organization when visiting the same websites and applications. Now, this helps answer the common question of, is this idle time normal or should I be concerned? That activity level metric is a great addition to the activity summary report. So make sure you take a look at it. And again, give us some feedback on that one once you've tried it out. The third one here is our weekly hours tracked email notification. So the daily hours tracked report has been available in all Time Doctor plans for years. And it's great because it's delivered to your inbox every day and shows a summary of total hours worked for the previous day. However, if you prefer to have a weekly view of hours tracked consistently and hours worked consistently, then you may want to try out the new weekly hours tracked email notification. And then one more that I left here as the big one, and I say this one is a big enhancement that we've made recently, in my opinion, that is. It's around email notifications as well. So for anyone that's tried our email notifications, I'm sure you've seen value in them. We're talking daily scheduled reports that get sent right to your inbox, and they help deliver key metrics that are important to you when you need them. They're awesome. However, one big challenge I've had with enabling this for customers is that it relies on managers setting up their own individual reports by themselves. Now we're introducing an option for admins to create custom email notifications for your entire organization. And honestly, it's as simple as copying someone on an email. So if you'd like to make life a little easier for your managers, schedule email notifications and add as many managers as you'd like as recipients, and let Time Doctor work more for you with email notifications and reports for your entire organization. Next, let's take a look here. Sorry about that. There we go. So next, let's examine what our product engineering team will focus on delivering over the next 30 days. We have a few more enhancements to email notifications. And again, the goal here is to deliver the most critical information to your managers when they need it, as quickly as they need it. So we're investing more into email notification updates. Leave tracking has just been introduced, but our product engineering team has been hard at work with adding more to that solution, and you should see some good stuff over the next 30 days for leave tracking. And finally, we are continuing to explore ways to use machine learning and AI to deliver deeper insights and actionable data. So, some really cool reports and functionality and solutions coming over the next 30 days in those key areas. Now that we've gotten those fantastic product updates out of the way, let's continue with our monthly product training session. And for that, I'll kick it back to my man, Calvin.
Awesome. Thanks, Antonio. Thanks for that roundup. So, starting this month, as we mentioned earlier, we are going to be introducing this format where we'll focus on monthly training sessions based on discussions or feedback that we've gotten from you. And this month, we're going to kick it off with team insights. Now, as you will know, or as you should already know because you've been using Time Doctor for a while, is that we offer a great solution for managing your remote, but not only that, but also your in-office teams. Okay, we give you insights, managerial insights, and productivity analytics that help you better understand your team's productivity. Now, when customers choose to partner with us as Time Doctor, they are typically searching for a solution that covers one of three things, or all three of them, which we're going to look at today. So, starting with the first one, team insights. Now, these insights focus on individual employee behavior. So, for example, time tracking, right? Just individual time tracking. Uh, the second one is sort of your manager insights, which is more your manager overall team performance insights. Lastly, we have your company insights, and these give you a bird's eye view, overall view of your entire company, your entire organization, as it would be as you look through the different departments as you go through. So, for our inaugural month, we will be looking at your team insights. And so we're going to explore by diving into the dashboard a little bit more about what these things do and how you can make them a little bit more productive. Okay, so let's have a look. All right, fantastic. So, where we're going to start quite simply is on the dashboard. And as I mentioned earlier, we have a couple of things that we want to look at essentially based on the different project plans that we have. Okay, so when you're looking at your basic plan, you have your reports and all of those things. And we have two other plans as well, which is your standard plan and your premium plan. Okay, so we're going to be looking at these insights. I shared the screen beforehand, but we'll come back to that. Not a problem, Antonio. Sorry about that. I can still dive into it. We'll talk about the reports that you have and how you can basically make it more productive for yourself. So let us start with screencasts. Okay, now screencasts are available on all plans, and the nice thing about screencasts is it gives you the ability to view what your users are doing at a particular time throughout the day. Okay, so you have the ability to toggle this on or off. You also have the ability to set it at 3 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or an hour. And if you're on the premium plan, you have the ability to have a continuous video going for your screencasts, right? You can have the ability to have it visible completely or blurred, depending on what you want to view and obviously how you want to view the data. Blurred just means you won't necessarily see the complete detail on the screen, but you will still be able to kind of make out what's happening. And obviously, if it's unblurred, you can see the full detail. By hovering in a bit closer, you will be able to see by clicking on this particular screencast, for example. I'll just go in there quickly. You'll be able to see how many mouse movements per minute or how much keyboard movement per minute, if that is something that you are interested in viewing, right? One important thing to note as well is we have also added the ability to view low activity screencasts. So this is where there's not much activity happening. As you can see at the bottom there, you don't see much mouse movement, indication of any mouse or keyboard movement, or also the ability to view identical screencasts. What's important here is if you want to monitor what's happening in terms of idle time or what's happening on your screens and want to know why there's a particular screen that looks identical, this is something for you to view a little bit deeper as you would like. Okay, the next one we're going to jump into is our projects and tasks, but I'm going to start here at settings. Okay, because this I'm going to explain to you exactly how you would create your projects and tasks and why it's important to do that as a manager. If you are allowed to set projects and tasks, and that can be done in your company settings by your admins. But what you would do is simply create your project by adding that in, giving it a title, creating your tasks, and then setting that to wherever you want to within the organization. Okay, so specific groups or specific people. The benefit to this is you will then give you the ability to see it in a report format on the projects and tasks report page, where you are able to see it daily, weekly, or monthly, depending on what you want to view. Okay. Now, what's important to note is this gives you insights into how much time has been spent on a particular project or a particular task. And also, you can have a look and see which users tend to be spending more time on particular tasks, and you're able to manage your time a little bit easier when it comes to those things. Okay. What you can do is, for example, if you want to look at a particular task or particular project, I should say, for a particular month, you can come and view and see how much time has been spent. And you can even take a deeper dive into specific users, and you'll be able to view how much time they're spending in particular projects and particular tasks. So if you might find that maybe productivity is low in a particular area, you can then go and check a look and see if the project, if the correct amount of time is being allocated to those projects. And also you can then use that by looking at screencasts, etc., and going forward to that. Okay, so that is your projects and tasks that's available across all our plans. The next one is hours tracked, right? Hours tracked, as simple as it is, it just gives you how many hours your users are tracking on a particular time. So again, you have the view of day, week, month, or a date range where you might want to look maybe quarterly or maybe biannually or whatever it is. You can set a specific date range even for a specific period within a month. Once again, gives you the total amount of hours per user. And again, we have a deeper level where you can click through and you'll be able to see per day how many hours a particular user has tracked. Right. Next up, we have the timeline report. Okay. Now, this is very similar to your hours track report, except it gives you a little bit more granular detail and you can view it daily and weekly. Okay. So, for example, if you look at daily, let's stick with daily for now, it basically breaks down the time that has been spent um, in a particular project for a particular period, and that's what you'll look at. So let's say, for example, if I go in there, you'll see these different blocks, these different patterns. So again, it gives you insights into work habits, how much time has been spent on breaks when someone is not on the computer, and those kind of things. So it just gives you a timeline, as the title mentions. And you can also see it from a week perspective, where you will see how much time has been spent per day throughout the week. This is obviously also a report that you can download so that you can share with your executives or whoever else needs to see these kind of reports. So another great feature to look at and add in as you go along. So that is some of the top features that you are able to have within the basic plan. And now I'm going to move on and share some others which you'll be able to find in the standard plan and the premium plan as you move forward. So this is for those of you that are on the basic plan, you want to know what's happening on the other side of the world. This is for you. And we're going to start in the reports tab. We're going to start with the activity summary. Now, Antonio mentioned a little bit earlier about activity level and activity metric, which is something new that we've brought up. That's why it still says new here. This is the report, or this is the tab, this is the page where you would be viewing the activity level metric. Okay, it's just on your activity summary report. And you can set up this page to look how you want it to look by clicking on the columns button, and it gives you a list of things that you can check. And as you check or uncheck, it just increases the amount of tabs that allow you to view. So you can view this however you want to view it. Also, you have the option of daily, weekly, monthly, or specific date range. Another level that we can have a look into is obviously per user level. Again, looking at the activity level based on the websites and apps that particular user is using for that time, based on the averages around the company. So it gives an indication of going in a little bit deeper to see at that period, if it was very low, what was the website and app that was being used and how much time was being spent on it. You can also look for the idle minutes, which is just explained as time where there was no keyboard or mouse activity happening during that time. So this is your activity summary report, which just gives you a great indication into productivity, how active your users are, and what they're doing on a daily basis as well. So it gives you, as a manager, how you can make this work for your insights. All right, now let's move on to the next one, which is one that I particularly enjoy explaining, is the web and app usage report, because this gives you a deeper look, even more insights into how your users are spending your time. And when you look at this report, you have the ability to look at it daily, weekly, monthly, and also a particular date range. So what I do in my daily role, or in my role as a CSM, is I have meetings or have QBRs, it's quarterly business reviews, where I review information and data for the past quarter with a client. So in this case, date range becomes important because I can then pull out this data for a particular quarter that we're looking at. I normally would like to start with what your top apps are and what's productive. So quickest way to do that is by unchecking these buttons, and you will see which of your websites and applications are your most productive or your top used, essentially, based on what you have set in your productivity ratings page, which we'll get to in a second. You can also look at from a user's perspective. So, which of your users are using those particular product websites and applications and using them well. And you can also look at it from the unproductive perspective. So, which websites and applications that you have rated as unproductive are at the top of the list for you to manage a little bit deeper so you know where the time is going. But a big suggestion that I always have with a lot of my clients is to look at the unrated websites and applications. What this means is you just simply haven't rated it. You haven't given it a rating, so it could be productive, it could be unproductive. By not rating it, you're missing out on key insights and key analytics that could be shaping how productive your users are and how productive your total organization is. Okay. Another one is neutral. Okay. And neutral, I'll explain in a second basically what neutral is, but it's just, again, it's essentially tabs that could possibly be productive, but they could also be unproductive. Where do we go to set this? Great question. I see it coming. Where you need to go to is the productivity ratings page, which is the last stop I'm going to have before we move on. But this is an important tab, it's an important page, it's an important feature to have a look at. Normally, with a lot of my clients, I suggest reviewing this maybe every week or every 14 days, just to make sure that the data that we're getting, the data that we are giving you as Time Doctor, is clean, it's clear, and it's effective to help you manage your team a lot better. So on this page, it will always default to unrated. Okay, because we want to put that data in front of you immediately so you can see which of the websites have not been rated yet. And what's good to see is total time used in the past 14 days. As a general rule, when speaking to some of my clients, I would normally say if this is greater than about 50 to 75 hours in the past 14 days, you might want to look a bit closer at that website and think about rating it. Okay, so maybe it might be something that is productive, that's been used a lot, then you can rate it accordingly so you can start getting that data. Or it might be a website that is unproductive. Same thing. Make sure you're rating it so you know that those are websites that your users are spending too much time on and you can manage it better. And then we come to neutral. Okay, sometimes it's a bit complicated to understand what is neutral. So in a case I can put before you, neutral could be a music app like possibly Spotify or iTunes, right? Or Apple Music. It's Apple Music now, right away. So Apple Music, where exactly music could be used to keep you productive, but it also could be used as a distraction. So in most companies across the board, apps and websites and applications like that are set to neutral because it's just easier to manage and easier for companies to understand where they're going, and they can manage those insights a lot better. So I think I've come to the end of explaining what I needed to do, Antonio. I'll
Yeah.
throw it back to you.
Awesome. Awesome. Really good job, Calvin. Thanks for that quick rundown on each one of those key solutions that are available. If you're looking for more team insights, these are the ones you really want to focus on and really dive into to get more data, more information on your team. So, really good job covering all those, Calvin. And it's like you read the audience's mind, at least one of them. Because one question we got is, and we'll get to more Q&A here in a moment. We're kind of jumping ahead. But while we're finishing up and showing the demonstrations, one question that was asked on productivity ratings is how often I should rate websites and applications, and is there a way to upload a list? So that is a great topic and a great segue into that question because One of the powerful things about Time Doctor is the data that it shows you specifically, and you can analyze that and really determine if it's time spent on productive websites and apps or unproductive websites and apps. It's a great report, great data, but the thing of it is, it's only going to work as well as you set it up and maintain it. And what I mean by that is Calvin spent some time showing the productivity ratings and how to adjust those. And the question that came in is how often those should be updated. Our recommendation is you should have someone reviewing that list, if not weekly, at least every 2 weeks. There's going to be new websites and applications that your team visits for the first time. They're going to show as unrated in the console that Calvin just showed. And in order for you to have the most accurate data and accurate assessment of whether they're spending time on the most productive or unproductive websites and apps, it is critical that you maintain that list and go in there, I would say at least once a week, to make sure you're properly categorizing those websites and applications. And they can either be a categorization for your entire company. So you can mark one thing as unproductive for the entire company, or for a specific team, or for specific individuals. There's different exception levels. You can really customize that too. And there's a ton of customization you can do there. But I cannot stress the importance enough of having someone in your organization that's owning that, that's going in weekly to review that list, make sure it's updated. Otherwise, the productivity data you're going to see, it's not going to be entirely accurate. So to answer that question, I say weekly, have someone in your organization own it and make sure you're updating that so you have the most accurate view of where your team is spending their time at. Okay. So a few more questions we'll get to. And again, great questions that have been submitted, guys. In fact, so many we won't get to all of them, but we'll pick two more here and quickly answer these if that's okay. So the productivity ratings one was a great one. Thank you for that. The second one here, this may be another segue, but Calvin, you'll love this one. Is there a way to determine what kind of cheating tools a person is using? Okay. So, what I'll say to that, guys, is the answer is yes. We do have a solution that we are right now beta testing with customers, and it's part of that advanced reporting insights that we offer and advanced reporting solutions we offer to clients. It's called the Unusual Activity Report. And it's something that, based on this feedback and this question, if we can incorporate it into next month's session, the advanced reporting, we'll make sure to spend a lot of time on that one. But for the person that sent that question in, if you want to reach out to your CSM directly, your client success manager like Calvin, they can let you know more about that. We can set up some time to review it and tell you more. But because, again, it's in a limited release right now, we'll save the broader discussion and presentation and demonstration of it for maybe next month's session. But glad to have those conversations one-on-one if that's something you're interested in for sure. All right. Calvin, you want to pick one of these? Maybe one more?
Yeah. Let me just have a look. I think there's someone by the name of Anna.
Mhm.
She's talking about the new activity metrics. Where can she find more information about that? Anna, it's completely fine to still be a little bit confused with the activity metrics. It is something that's very, very new, and that's recently being released. Similarly to what Antonio said, you could reach out to your CSM if you have one, and they can set up some time to go through that a little bit more in detail. But we also have a help center which can explain the activity metrics to you as well. But maybe I'm just being biased, but being a CSM, I think it's a lot better if we can sit down with you and explain that to you in detail in a meeting. So if you have a CSM, please get in touch with them. If not, you can reach out to our support team, and they will also gladly be able to assist you with giving you that information. But that's a great
100%.
shout.
And if you're not sure, reach out to the support team anyway. They'll either
Yeah.
be glad to help you or they'll let you know who your client success manager is. And most of everyone that joined today's call should have one. But if you're unsure of that, message the support team. We'll be glad to point you in the right direction, set you up with someone that can help you out. But the client success team is here to make sure we're helping you with things like this and make sure you're getting the most value out of Time Doctor while delivering an exceptional experience to you. So it's a partnership that you should really invest in and embrace because we're here to help you, and we're glad to do it. So make sure you're reaching out if you have any questions on that. Calvin, I'm going to pick one more here because it was a heavy topic for today. And what I'll ask is, and this question comes from an anonymous source, but could you demonstrate how to use the new email notifications feature? If you can, Calvin, if you have the console still
Yeah.
up, you can hop back over. I just think it's super important because I personally emphasize this. I was really excited about it. I called it my big one. But in general, I think it's just a good time to really reemphasize the importance of the email notifications because it's a great tool. It's a great tool to really grow the adoption for your managers of Time Doctor because, again, there's a lot of data in Time Doctor. Sometimes it can be confusing or overwhelming. And sometimes you really just need some critical alerts on very specific information. So email notifications is the way to go. And for that, we don't typically do this, but we're going to walk through that one more time because I just want to make sure everyone on this call is aware of how to do that. And you can share this with your organization. This is a really good tool and it's going to unlock some usage for you. So Calvin, if you don't mind, let's walk through how to set this up real quick and show the audience.
Yeah, sure. Definitely. We can go into detail with that. Essentially, click on settings, go down to email notifications, and it will take you to a page. For the purpose of the webinar, I had created some already, but I can demonstrate to you exactly how you would go about creating it. But we have three types of alerts, three types of email notifications that you can set up. One is real time, the other is daily, the other is weekly. Simply explained, your real-time email alerts will come at you immediately in real time. Daily means you will get this report in the next day, and then weekly means you will get the report obviously on a Monday for the previous week. But when setting this up, it's not difficult at all. You can click on create new, all right? And over here, it gives you an opportunity to give this a title. So whatever it is, whether it's like you'll see on my side, it's manual time or start time or anything of that sort. Then you choose your type. So you've got your real time, your daily, and your weekly. This is where you'll select what type of alert, what type of report you're wanting. Then as you scroll down, you'll get to the condition. Okay, so the conditions are the parameters. Okay, so depending on what you've chosen at the top here will be based on what the condition is. So let's stick with daily for now. And there's a couple of options for daily. It's just basically looking at whether they follow the schedule, unproductive time, but you can go through this in your own time. But you can choose any one of these. That means you will get a notification in email format or report if any of these parameters have been met from the previous day. Once you've gone through and set all of that up, obviously choosing what's applicable in terms of your days, also who to monitor. Like Antonio says, this is another new feature. You can then add any users to this email notification. But a reminder, excuse me, these users need to be in your console and they need to be one of the users for you to be able to add them. So you, at this point in time, you won't be able to add anyone from outside the organization, but you'll be able to add them in here. That means that they will receive the email the same time that you receive that email. Okay. Once again, real time means you get it right now, and those are different types of alerts. So those are more sort of general emergency alerts. For example, if someone hasn't started work by a particular time, or if they didn't start their shift, if you're using shifts. So make use of those. Adds
Mm-hmm.
great value. Makes it a lot easier instead of going in daily to look for the information and diving through and sifting through data. You can get it in one email.
Awesome. Really, really good job on that, Calvin. And again, the beauty of that is they get one email that shows them a nice infographic of the alert they want. All of the alerts are basically powered by reports. So in that infographic, there'll be a link to access the direct report it's referring to. And again, it's just insights delivered to your manager's inboxes, saving them time, allowing them to go exactly to where they want to go within the application. So big shout out to Calvin. I put him on the spot there, but I know this guy, as I mentioned, is a hip hop head like I am. He appreciates a good freestyle, and that's exactly what he did there, Calvin. So put you on the spot. You freestyled, you nailed it. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. All right. All right,
Anytime.
cool. So we are all set here. We're all at the end of the hour, at the end of the session here. We went a little longer than we had hoped. And that's because we had some great questions and we did not get to them all, but we'll make sure to follow up and get back to those questions for anyone that submitted them. There's some great ones there. But we love it, guys. We love the interactive feel of this. We want to continue to have that feel and that vibe going forward. We want to do our best to educate you on the product, what's in there today, what's been released recently, what's coming over the next 30 days when we can, and then pick one special topic that you're going to help us choose every month. Every month, guys. We want to continue doing this every month. So, share the word within your organization. Please join us again. Please continue joining us and make the time. We appreciate that. And then hopefully you can bring a friend next time and just make this a larger party. And make sure when you're accepting the invite to next month's invitation, select which topic you want us to cover. If we get that in time and we tally up the votes, we're going to create the content around that. So we'll make sure to spend the time on what's been voted on, what you want to hear directly from you, and we'll enjoy doing that, guys. So, on behalf of Calvin and the entire team that put this together and the entire Time Doctor organization, I want to thank you all once again for your time. We know you're busy. We appreciate you tuning in today and joining us, and we hope to see you next time. And we're glad you're here today. So, thank you so much. Wish you all a great rest of the week, and hopefully, we'll see you next month. Take care.